you both are. Marvelous. Your efforts have borne even more fruit. A new piece of the tapestry has been mended. The Weaver's been hard at work with the thread Starstone has borne her, and a whole portion of history has been rewoven. Rejoice, my friends, rejoice! For now we witness a tale from the eons torn from time, but now, thanks to you, restored.
After the war was won, the Void Dragon remained a great threat to all existence. And so, upon the anvil of creation, the God Box was crafted. The Void was locked within, but still the question remained: who would guard the box? The two generals offered themselves. They would give up life and glory to stand sentinel. Transformed into immortal beings, they would be the Void's eternal guardians. They placed the box and the guardians in the first garden, home of Astarte and of the world's most beautiful power, Source. For time immemorial, the Guardians stood by the God Box, no longer human in body or in mind, but duty personified.
So that is who we were. Demigod guardians of the God Box. You stand alone with that opinion. Even gods can die, and from what we've seen here in this realm, little good came from being a half-divine.
I salute you, my master. Other elementals lie in wait until with a word you command them to action. Which one of them, pray, has your preference? And that is your final choice?
In fact, it isn't. I want to go with another elemental. Why must you be so stubborn? Humor me, why don't you?
No, we'll do as I say and that...
Thy will be done.
Good gods, what an infernal heat!
Feels like we've landed inside the heart of the sun.
You say you will serve them. You say they have your loyalty still, despite their utter failure. Foolish creature. Chain your fate to theirs, and you are chaining it to certain downfall.
That remains to be seen. I do believe they will remember. I do believe I will serve them again, despite your tricks.
Always am I the trickster, always am I the malefactor. Yet all I do is speak the truth. They failed before, and they will fail again. The void, I can see it approaching in their eyes.
You! What radiance burns from your being? Enough to scorch even the likes of me, I find. And that is no small feat. Most impressive, yes, most impressive indeed. Why, I am a soldier of fire. And does this landscape not befit me? I have lived here for eons, since the first great peace, when the world as your kind know it was first secured. We were invited here by a great leader, I believe. Yes, a leader. I'm sure it was. The details, they crumble like ash when I try to grasp them in truth. But the radiance of that time has never left me. Victory, blazing victory, adorned our heads like a crown of glorious flames. I'm sure one as radiant as yourself must understand exactly what I mean. What do I know? Ha! Fire magic is me, and I am it. A far better question is, what would you like to know? Take care, my friend. Those who blaze brightly may find themselves targeted by darkness.
You there! Cut it out! Cheerio! Good to see you on the shelter plane. A home away from home, is it not? Did you? Most wonderful. Could I have a quick read? Yes. Crikey, Dragon of the Void, She doesn't mess around now, does she? The Temple of the Source. I've heard of such a place, buried deep within the forbidden confines of a cursed phantom forest. That is where your travel should take you, east of the Lacula Woods, even though death hangs over that place like a ghostly fog. But first, you should go to Hunter's Edge, the village that borders those haunted woodlands. That is where Zandalore lives. The wizard Leandra is hunting. He is knowledgeable of the source, and his capture by the Void Seekers would be catastrophic indeed. Of all the wicked things, the one substance that can stand in the way of the Void, and she's turning it into vessels of blight. You'll have to redouble your efforts, my friend. You'll have to find more starstones before she does and forestall her insidious...
What do you think you're doing? My thanks. What's the word, Source Hunter? So that's her plan. She intends to summon Astarte and the Void Dragon and overwhelm the goddess with an unstoppable army. With Astarte gone, there will be nothing to stop the Void from consuming all of Rivellon. Our mission is greater than us, greater than Leandra, Source Hunter. It is a quest to save all of existence from eternal blackness. Her plan must not succeed. Sister, what have you done? You're 2 steps ahead of my sister, dear Source Hunter. With that vial of her blood, and the fail-safe spell you rescued from the mines, you can craft a piece of magic powerful enough to render her army vulnerable.
I wonder, do you know more about the Void? What it is? What lies at the heart of it?
What lies at its heart? Why, nothing, of course. The great absence of all that even the gods cannot comprehend. It eludes us, like infinity, or the finality of tick-tocking time.
Gods! Leandra's building an army in order to defeat Astarte and unleash the Void!
Our friends on the homestead will want to hear this right away. Now that we know exactly what she's doing, we've got the advantage over the so-called conduit.
Space, time, and a frigid prison wait. What's the word, Source Hunter? Source Hunter, you've learned so much already. That spell you found. If it's to be believed, Leandra has created Death Knights. Only that spell, combined with her blood, will make them vulnerable to attack.
How did you find Highbehind this time of year, dear Kara?
Cold, Master Imp. Very, very cold. You both puzzle and delight me, Sir Ahu. To be man and cat both. Such an interesting life you lead.
You flatter me, my lady, but yes, I quite like to weave between 2 planes of existence, bound by mind and soul. There is a grandeur to it, if a humble one.
And trust me, dear lady, that grandeur humbles rather quickly when you see him groom himself.
What do you think you're doing? My thanks. What's the word, Source Hunter? Why, it seems you're more than caught up, aren't you? You've already got the spell and the blood, both of which we'll need, if the spell is to be believed, to slice through Leandra's army of Death Knights. Remarkable. That means we've only to find Zandalor now. Long ago, when Source was banished, a league of great men and women promised to protect its secrets. The Keepers of the Source, they called themselves. Our wizard is its last living member. That night in the King Crab Inn, Leandra was after something that only he knew. Find him, and you'll learn where to find her. He lives in Hunter's Edge, a village east of Lucula. When last I saw him, he was in a panic about Leandra's betrayal. It's possible that he'll have flown Hunter's Edge. You may need to investigate to find a hint of his whereabouts. Take this ring, it will mark you as my ally. If you should find Zandalor, he'll know I sent you.
I have seen the void, and it haunts me. Follows my vision like confused spots after staring in the sun.
We are haunted by the same vision, my friend. The end.
You have paid your stipend, my friend. Ask them, and I shall answer. They say only one of your kind has ever met. I was bang! With a bang indeed, Amadeus. The bridge is yours. Now, have a nice day.
From those days. He's a...
Dear me, dear me, dear me, it is happening! The void, the darkness, dear me, dear me, dear me, time lies in tatters! There's this place, this pit that lies to the north. It is a rift of chaos, an epicenter of a time and space-devouring force. Void demons are besetting Rivellon, and the storms of chaos are shuddering through our own dear homestead. Demons creep through the rift. They must all be destroyed. Not just any demons. Void demons. They are impervious to attacks with weapons or magic that any creature of this world can muster. But they have one weakness, for their simmering presence has permeated this area through and through for a long time. Tenebrium, that is the answer. The black ore that is dark as the void itself. Arm yourself with this foul material, and you shall be able to shred their bloodstone that controls their portal. The rift is the portal through which the demons seep. There is blood magic at work here, and he who says blood magic says immaculates. A bloodstone fuels the rift. Obliterate it, and the rift shall close. I've scouted ahead of it and seen that 3 paths, or what passes for paths, lead to the center of the wasteland that lies before you. To the left is an encampment of Immaculates. Yes, they're but Immaculates, but their weapons look sharp as shark's teeth. So don't barge in like cats at a dog's wedding. The central path is a big no-no too, brimming with demons. I really wouldn't recommend it. Which leaves the right path, which may not be the right path at all, for it is deceptively calm along its trail and positively overflowing with magma. So basically I can offer you 3 options, all of them as appetizing as pig feed. And yet you'll have to swallow your portion whole. If not, the end of time will be swept into the void and Rivellon with it. They exist beyond the normal continuum of time. They are here, and they are sweeping through the winds of chaos at the end of ages, shredding what they find. Unless they are defeated, your home away from home shall sink into the maelstrom of oblivion piece by piece. Do what you can, my friend. Do not falter. All depends on your prowess, and our homestead won't grow an inch until you've solved this dire matter.
Southeast to Hunter's Edge, north to Incomparable Suffering. Well then.
Southeast it is. For now.
By the looks of things, it seems we're heading towards Hunter's Edge. The town where I was stationed before I met you lot. Before we get there, you should know the whole yarn. What I saw there. Why I fled. Yes, comrade. I fled a coward bearing the insignia of a sauce hunter. I think so, comrade. Even though you might never look at me the same way, I hope I won't lose you as compatriots. We, the villagers and myself, were corralled in the town square. The orcish queen sauntered into the middle, proud of the chaos she'd created. She screamed if we knew why they had come. Slowly, she approached me and leaned close, her hot, foul breath like fire on my face. With one hand, she clasped my throat. With the other, she reached into my pocket and pulled out the gem I'd taken from the orcs I'd killed earlier that day. I was a thief, she said. I'd taken something dear to her, and I had earned punishment. I thought she'd destroy me right then and there, but she did something worse. That's right, comrade, and I was soon to find out why. She brought forth one of her soldiers, a larger orc I'd never seen, and he was covered in black, gleaming armor. She placed the stone in his chest plate, and something happened. He transformed into something I'll never forget. She made me watch as she sent villager after villager before the great transformed beast. He crushed them all, one by one, each more gruesomely than the last. He seemed to revel in the work. I could do nothing, comrade. I couldn't save them. I couldn't help them. I could only watch. Don't you see it's already over? Don't you see it's too late? These orcs weren't out for riches or land. They only came for blood. No. All that's left in Hunter's Edge is a debt to be paid, comrade. And I intend to collect it.
Oh there, a word of warning, wanderer, afore you continue on your merry way. See these corpses here? Be a good fellow and take them as a hint that this town isn't the pastoral little paradise it once was. Immaculates, orcs and humans both, have taken Hunter's Edge. Its villagers are now slaves in the mines to the west, or they've been bled dry of their last drop of life, reduced to mere fuel that must light the wicked candle that is Bloodstone. Long as you live in the limbo between coming and going, though, why not have a look at what I have to sell? You'd be surprised to see what a scouring skeleton can gather together in a dying town. Yeah! Well, don't go round angering Immaculates if you want to keep your vitals intact. Though perhaps it won't be very long before they have a stab at one another's vitals instead. I have the feeling there's trouble brewing between the orcs and the humans in there, and who can blame 'em really? Just ain't natural for 'em to consort, I say. Only good orc... Well, you know how the phrase goes. Can't say I remember who I was before the change came over me, but these days I'm a travelling trader of sorts. There's an immaculate necromancer in the village ahead. She's the one who brought me back from, well, wherever I was. She's an especially bright one, you know. Most necromancers can only revive a dead corpse into an animated one, but she manages to yank back some semblance of consciousness too. I don't remember much, but the thrill of trade certainly calls to me. Maybe I was a merchant in my former life, who knows? These days, most undead are busy haunting Seal or picking the way in the Lucula mines. But I keep a low profile and stay out of sight. Haven't been bothered by an immaculate yet, and I hope to keep it that way. I know the weapons of which you speak. I've even hidden away a piece of one myself. I had planned to pass it down to my son, but... Well, maybe you could make better use of it now.
Time's a wasting. Hey, you! Come on, time's a wasting.
Did someone leave an oven door open?
Looking for?
I could do with a cold drink.
Meow!
I need to dry off.
Hey, you! Come on. You can speak. You don't look like a tribesman or orc, but I suppose I can't be certain. Then again, I've never heard of a dark soul gifted with the speech of the wild. Jinxica is my name, and until recently I lived a placid sort of life among the people of Hunter's Edge. The baker might leave me a bit of milk left over from this breakfast. The barkeep stroked my back between filling glasses. I had many friends here, but none so dear as a little trio. A married pair and their daughter, employed by the wizard to keep his home. They spent many long hours squashing fleas that plagued me and shared their warm beds with me each night. If you come to this village to help and not to harm, you might be able to save those 3 kind souls from the orcs that have invaded. Ugh. Such misery in our sad town. A kind but private man he is. He set up his home here several years ago, but never remained there long enough before jetting off to tend to some matter or other. The Dark Invaders seem very interested in him indeed. They've been skulking around outside the house since they arrived. But not even one of their filthy vermin can penetrate the wizard's protective enchantments. Would that an invasion were all! They destroyed every crumb of life they could find and sent their filthy rats to seek out those who evaded them. Each life they took infused their strange stones with power. Their queen glowed with delight as a parade of victims were slain before her. It was as though she was taking in a beautiful song. The human tribe came shortly after. They had their own supply of the glowing stones, and the Orc Queen took no easy liking to them. Still, it seems they are working towards some similar goal. They haven't destroyed one another. Yet. They've survived this carnage so far by concealing themselves most cleverly. I've done my best to guard their hiding place from the slime-bellied rats attempting to sniff them out. But I fear my efforts aren't enough. Until the village has been rid of vermin, those 3 sweet souls may be found at any time.
My, how did a spleen get lodged here? They don't mess around, these Immaculates.
Savages by savages employed. The orcs have one among them. The rat catcher, they call him, who claims to have trained rats to do his bidding. They've swarmed the place in search of hidden villagers, and unless every last one of them is split from tail to snout, they're sure to find my friends. But you're not like the brutes inside those walls. No. You approached me with hand, not boot, outstretched. Perhaps you could help me. With these rats running about, it's only a matter of time before my friends are caught. They must be squashed, every last one of them. I've done my best so far, but there are simply too many for one set of claws to handle. With your help, though, with your help, it could be done. The rats gone, my friends safe. Oh, that bothersome old Tom. No, he and I are hardly friendly, much less friends. I've much more important things on my mind than him and his incessant pestering. I can slip through these walls as I please, but you'll need to find your own way into the village. And remember, my friend, kill every last rat you find, or 3 dear souls will be lost.
How can I help you, my friend?
I wonder what the orcs want with all this bone.
Ah, yes, that was a small fib on my part, I'm afraid. Zandalore is known as the Keeper of the Source, after all. And I didn't know how Source Hunters would react to my association with such a colorful character. He has a residence at the far end of town. Though I have my doubts he's having people over for tea now that the Immaculates have landed. Know that Zandalore is wily, so beware. If a wizard doesn't want you in his home, you'll know it. Pity the intruder that heedlessly tries to waltz his way into that dwelling. Nevertheless, his house is the very place you'll want to search. The accumulated knowledge stored there is quite phenomenal, and beyond a doubt one of Leandra's most urgent pursuits. I'm watching on with weary eyes how the Immaculates strike again. They've gone from shedding blood among their own to recruiting orcs and cutthroats to do it for them. From what I can tell, the village of Hunter's Edge is this cult's most wretched victim. It was once a quiet sort of village. Families and small-time merchants mostly. Recently, it was targeted by a tribe of orcs waving the Immaculate banner. Their leader, Grutilda, is known far and wide for her cruelty and cunning. She oversaw the murder of countless villagers and used their blood to fuel a great number of bloodstones. Once they were dead, they were reanimated as undead corpses and sent to work in the mines of Lacula. By order of Leandra, the orcs were joined by a tribe of humans from the northern peaks of Tanneroth. A band of male warriors are they, and they devote allegiance to their leader, Jarl. Jarl arrived with his own formidable supply of bloodstones, which means his tribe has been operating under directions from the conduit for some time. Where once they ransacked for base pleasure and material gain, now they do it by the will of the goddess. These are far from the blindly devoted Immaculates of Silverglen, however. The orcs and the humans here alternate between bitter fighting and hostile peace. Personally, I believe they're best exploited through their rivalry. Get them to fight each other, and you can stand on the sidelines and warm yourself upon the flames.
I'm overheating here!
You there, Flatlander. Stay at your business. Come to play now the town's been taken, have you? Typical you Flatlanders. Lucky for you, the goddess don't discriminate against cowards. Well, come quickly then. There's still townsfolk on the loose, and the chase has probably made them wild as cornered dogs. One might pop out of a bush and take an eye before you can shout your own name. Better you first check in with the higher-ups. You've got Jarl, the righteous leader of Weir the Mountain, and blood-stained Gratilda, queen dog of the giant toads. Trust me, you'll know her when you see her. Now scram, and make your introductions before word gets to them there's an intruder here.
I need to dry off.
Of a single frog-skinned one of you? Then why not stand up and face me, boy? One-on-one. They're keeping the peace for now. Chief's orders. That other
Comrade, did you hear that? It sounds like these Immaculates are at odds with the local orc savages. We may be able to turn this to our advantage. I'll keep a sharp eye out for anything we could use to nudge these factions closer to chaos. If we can get them to destroy each other, we'll kill two birds without even having to pick up a stone. Nothing would please me more than seeing Hunter's Edge cleared of the scum that destroyed it. I may not be able to undo the past, but together we can dole out justice for those who've suffered.
Human, even the name sounds diseased. Can't come to work today, boss. I've got the human, and it's itching like mad.
I need to dry off.
Yes, your mother, I'll say. The human's the one who took it.
One side. I ain't got time for chatting until I find the damn thing. The key to the armory, of course. Hasn't that frog-skinned oaf been roaring about from here to the warehouse? You'd be too if you'd misplaced something of Gratilda's. I once saw her skin her own foot soldier alive for mispronouncing All-Mother. And he'd only done it after she'd knocked his teeth out for sneezing in her presence. What's worse is, the coward's blaming his troubles on me, only because I happened to be passing by when he noticed his armory key was missing. I'd tell him to piss off and be on my way, but he'd threatened to tell Gratilda it's me who stole it. Somehow, I doubt I'll get to tell my side of things before my head was shorn clear off. Not a damn thing in all the 12 hills of hell. This idiot orc has no idea where he's lost the damn thing. So he's taken to blaming me, a passerby. It's just like an orc to save his own skin by flaying someone else. What does that matter? Quit buzzing in my ear before...
Look in every cranny now! Your mother won't like to hear a human's been thieving from an orc.
You know damn well I wouldn't touch anything of yours with a 10-hand pole.
like I've just had a long bath in a cold lake.
Or am I wrong altogether?
It's all Mother, I'll say. The humans the ones someone's talking.
Yeah, get dog is custom to take a dip.
Alone again, Alfie. Some
Are you that? Yeah, get dog
It never rains, but it pours, eh?
Got a hole in my pocket, have I?
Are you that? Can you keep that
The dog looks up at you with misery-ridden eyes. The dog hangs its head, then looks north. Filled with fury, it barks.
I get all the peace I need from serving the goddess. A life of peace, I say. Let the lost die that we may live. What about that one? Look how it skulks around. Neither orc nor enlightened. I'll bet no one would even notice
Feeling
if
hot
it
under the collar.
I'm overheating here!
Now, I won't hear another word about it. Only the guilty go to the gallows.
Where's the innocent in these trying times, brother? I'll take the blood, and you take the body. A fair deal, isn't it? You there, tell me, how's your vision? Any ailments in the liver or spleen? Lost ones are everywhere these days, after all. I am a servant to the goddess, of course. One of the first among her enlightened in Revellon, and certainly the most devoted. I've scoured the region for unworthy souls, and am quite efficiently cleansing the land of lost ones great and small. How much better the lost serve her as bone automatons. My expertise as a necromancer is unmatched, you know. I've a success rate is nearing 99%. They end up with their brains a bit, well, scrambled. You can find such a fellow opining over skulls somewhere around here. One of my more harmless false steps, I think.
Ain't they a lovely sight up there, all in a row? Strung 'em up myself, I did. Each of the little darlings. A sweeter sight I couldn't ask for. I never did much care for the turn myself. I'm more of a caretaker, you see. The world's a wild place, unpredictable at best. But here, upon these gallows, there's peace, calm. I keep the order, and my little ones stay in line. Condemned in this life, perhaps, but when they come to rest in my new seat, their sins are washed away. These aren't thieves and murderers and traitors, you see. After I've laid them to rest here, they're pure as angels. My little angels. Most of them, yes, but that's far from my own order of business. Our great Queen Matilda is no stranger in getting her claws bloody, and she'll not hesitate to pluck out a pair of eyes what look at her sideways. I handle all the dreaming dears when she's done with them all the same. Whether they're my little ones or hers makes no difference. I'm happy to bring them here to rest among me and mine. It'd be an honour. Where are we to start? Paulie came first, the little rogue. A human he was, and Grachilda ordered him hanged while Jarl was out on the hunt. He was the first I got to tuck in myself since coming to this town. Oh, I remember it like it was yesterday. The fussy little dear didn't want to go to sleep. No, kicked and screamed he did. But he started to calm down a bit after I strung him up, as I knew he would. And soon he was fast asleep. Oh, my little Tilo. He was a sweet one right from the start. A thief, I think he was in his last life. But he accepted what was to come easy as pie. The guards handed him to me, limp as a doll and shivering with fright. I strung him up nice and slow, so as not to worry the poor dear. Gunnar, you mean? He was one of Grachilda's. After some impertinent question or other, I believe it was. Impertinent questions. A plague among we orcs they are, ending more death than horn rot these days. Well, Grachilda dispatched him, but it was I who collected the great heavy deer and strung him up here. Grachilda said he'd be a warning to the others. but I think he's a great addition to the family, to boot. He does look a lovely sort of pale green colour, don't he? Like a dusty ancient jade. Beautiful.
I'm warm as fresh apple pie.
Who'd have thought the greatest threat to the Immaculates would be one of their own?
It's heating up.
You may think. Well, by the boot soles of Burl Boonhammer, what have we here?
Get them before they turn to ash.
Another human in Hunter's Edge. State your business, whelp.
Hail, Immaculate. By the sickle of Tyr Gutgouger, I'm glad to see another human face here in Hunter's Edge. Not yet another misshapen orcish snout.
If you fancy keeping that human face of yours, I wouldn't take my cues from the chief of the mountain apes. I may have sworn to refrain from carving my name across his back, but yours, I do believe, is free for the taking.
Regular ray of sunshine, isn't she? Don't let her manners fool you, though. Her disposition may be dark, but her wit is bright. Bright and devious. Believe me when I tell you that she's plotting against us as we speak, and would have long given the order to spill our blood if she wasn't leashed by the orders of the conduit herself. But by the shield of the Stormbringer, she'll not outfox the sworn brothers of Tanneroth. And I sincerely hope she won't outfox the likes of you either. You belong to the Silverglen tribe, I take it. Thought you were all holed up in Highbehind, but it pleases me to see some of your number have come to Hunter's Edge. Yes, an outsider not as yet distrusted by the orcs is exactly what I need in the matter of the missing bloodstones and the matter of the wizard's house. But let's talk in my headquarters over yonder, for by the beard of the Bear Slayer there are too many green ears around here.
Vermin could harbour such useful relics. Share in the plunder.
Of course, it'll be for a moment.
Vermin could harbour such useful relics. Share in the plunder. Oi! The All-Mother says small boats can enter the sheep. Tell her to stay in the warehouse.
Tell the All-Mother you've got a problem with her judgment, if you feel so strongly about it.
You'd like that, wouldn't you?
I saved you the finest paw.
You're just
This swill is hung better than swamp water.
Take notice.
Yes, right away, my good man.
Perhaps you haven't heard, whelp. Every time a foot soldier disturbs me, I take his head to compensate for my time. Leader, a word that hardly suffices. I lead them as far as the head leads the body. They serve me and live in service to me. I am their all-mother, the beginning and end of their very lives.
Or even the old man can bust this steel in a single blow.
I get all the peace I need from serving the goddess. And life is peace, I say. Let the lost die that we may live.
What do you call it?
I am loved by them. I am craved by them. I choose from among them he who pleases me, and I destroy the rest. The orcs of this tribe are executors of my will, no more. Naturally, there are few finer pleasures than standing before the fruits of one's labor. A stack of gold, and goods to one side, and sopping sinews and bone to the other. Ah, divine. I've developed a particular affinity for tenebrium of late. The sheen of it rather pleases the eye. My boys know not to keep a shard of the stuff from me. Consider this your warning too. Miserable, you say? I quite like it. Save the altogether hideous pink apes infesting the place. But exterminating them was a rather titillating diversion, I must admit. The townsfolk here were no different from those in the north. The larger ones beg me to spare the smaller ones. The smaller ones bleat like lambs for the larger ones. Yet they each squeal just the same when you split their piggy skin from nose to navel. Yes, I dare say the wizard won't be so pleased with himself for evading us when he returns. His servants' entrails will be wreathed among his grapevines, and the rest of the villagers are already hacking away in the tenebrium mines. Undead drones bent in service to the conduit. Our conduit didn't describe every detail of her plan to her mold-eyed pets in the mines. Well, no matter. It hardly concerns you, unless you can break the enchantments protecting his house.
Gruntilda doesn't tell you a thing, does she?
help!
We're waiting to fight the final battle.
Even Birmingham behind a word and scrap too. I want whiskey, not goblin this.
But that's a matter of magic, not the erotic virtues of your mother's rot-rancid corpse. I doubt anyone from Silverglen will be of use. So it seems, but even the cleverest magician cannot conceal his tricks forever. The wizard may have fled, but he left a passel of servants behind. Servants I very much doubt will be immune to the charms of my screws and cleavers.
See that? I could have sworn that even vermin lay behind a worthy scrap too.
One of my boys, in love with one of y'all's. Perhaps the All-Mother ought to investigate this matter personally. Nothing sets an orc on the straight and narrow like the humble ear of his sovereign and sworn mistress, after all.
I'm dripping.
Don't talk to the small bones, brother. It only makes eating them all the less pleasant later.
I'm gonna call Amy. Now for the block.
Baking like a cake.
What do you call that?
I could do with a cold drink.
I'll call and raise you another fire. Ugh, I'm dripping.
You there, boy. Can it be true? You claim to love this human scum?
Love? No, old mother. I only have eyes. Who could trust a big stupid? Of course.
Do not lie to your all-mother, boy, or she'll use your esophagus for a leg warmer.
Squatting over the latrine. I didn't mean to. I couldn't help it.
So you admit to this affair?
Yes, old mother.
There, we have the truth. Very good. As for this transgression, I trust that in the last several moments you've realized your terrible error.
Yes, old mother. Terrible errors, never to be repeated.
And I suppose I can trust you never to so much as glance at this worm-fleshed fool again?
Yes, old mother, of course.
As I thought. There now. Good Lord. Calm yourself. The All-Mother cannot tolerate such blubberings among her boys.
Excuse me. I'm just overcome with your kindness. Thank you, All-Mother. Thank you. I haven't got a hole in my pocket.
Disgusting, traitorous filth.
It's All-Mother. I thought you said it was me who followed. Now in a second, it was the most touch to know what you did with it.
I need to dry off. Potent heat! Soaked to the skin!
Yes, don't talk to the small bones, brother. It only makes eating them all of this pleasant later.
I saved you the finest paw.
This badge better be stronger than the last. I want whiskey, not goblin piss.
Not even the old man can pass this steel in a single blow.
Goodness. Is supper already upon us? I'd hope for something with considerably less gristle, but I suppose you'll do. Unless you have proof that something has gone awry in the armory, I'll hardly bother with this matter. Have had the pleasure of making his acquaintance. Careful. He was only just released from the hangman's cells. What was the case? Ah, yes. I believe he ordered his rats to chew out the tongues of every last infant within a Western Orcish tribe. An answer to some insult or other from the tribe's All-Mother. Or so I heard.
Come on, hurry it up with the whiskey. You fancy getting your throat slit like you breathe all that. What do you call that?
He's dangerous, yes, and quite mad. But I'd trust him with my own neck. There's not an orc in Riverland that would dream of crossing Grutilda, no matter how mad.
What is it that you so enjoy about
But how very obvious! Who better than a cow to bring a frightened calf back into the herd? Surely you and that bootlicker's sensibility of yours ought to have an insight or two into where a servant might seek sanctuary. Our rat catcher, regrettably, seems to be in need of some direction in the matter.
I've got my eye.
I'm drenched!
Don't talk to the small bones, brother. It only makes eating all this pleasant. Nice on the cards, that one.
Come, let's have another
Baking
round
like a
before
cake.
I get too drunk to read the cards.
I'll win
Baking
this
like a
one.
cake.
The goddess is with me, I can feel it. This is taking bloody ages. I need a drink and a breather.
Right, here round, girls. 2 cards for everyone.
5 gold.
7's my lucky number, so 7 it is.
Get some wine on you.
Now there's an idea with a ring to it. I'll be right back.
I prefer to drown my sorrows with ale.
I feel like I've just had a long Well, what's this I've spotted?
I wish there were other bottoms that go up around here.
The soldier is alongside the men. What a stupid thing to do.
Hey, Conduit's orders. Best not to get on her bad side. You know that.
Yeah, but her orders don't cure my fever.
Then go and find yourself a sheep if you're so bloody hot and bothered.
A sheep?
Charla and Horton. Aren't those the skeleton traders we met? Charla in Sicil and Horton just outside this village.
If this is to be believed, their spirits are trapped in a dark priestess's totem.
What was the minimum? 5 gold?
Going to get all such useful relics. Salaries of plunder. Now for the turn. Check it out and go get some more. I order of the old mother. Huge discounts on magic balls. They're hiding under there. 6 and half. That's it.
Did someone leave an oven door open?
Well. What do we have here? Human reinforcements. No need for a supple young kitten like yourself here. My rats will find the villagers in no time at all. Do you pretend not to know me, child? Surely you stare into my left eye each time you admire the full moon. But play coy if you will.
I get a bit anxiety.
The All Mother called me here to find a certain tiny herd of sheep missing from her flock. The wolfish shepherd woman, she. I am world-renowned for my ability to search and to find. Well, you might ask, feigning ignorance so that you might hear more of my lilting voice. Rats are always the answer. There's no hole they won't find, no stench that can deter them. No, there is no hiding from a rat, and so there is no hiding from me. I raise them, train them, lead them. I am their king, and my subjects will find those hidden villages in no time at all. Lost lands, yes, fleeing the slaughter. Naughty. I'll give them quite the spanking when my rats whisper to me where to find them. Yes, perhaps I'll get my fill of my own private punishments first and foremost. The All-Mother believes those villagers, being the one-time servants of the wizard, will know how to find him. Or at least how to break the enchantments shielding his house. Wicked enchantments, are they? Our mother, yes. And we do suckle from the teat of her goodwill. No wonder so many of us starve. An iron fist in an iron glove is our Gratilda. She doesn't tolerate failure any more than I tolerate a spring nymph stealing glimpses of me during bath time. No, Shira, I say, you'll get your fill at the God's Day Festival.
What are you doing around here anyway?
Gratilda doesn't tell you a thing, does she? We're waiting to fight the final battle. The time is nearly nigh.
You've got to the count of 1 here before me. freshen this.
What? Do I look like his secretary? And even if I were, with my head in a tight little bun and my quill at the ready, the old mother doesn't share her every concern with me, you know. No. She whispers to her pillow at eventide, when only the feathers come near her. Perfectly disciplined, aren't they? They'd obey my every command, and when I die, they'll all leap into my grave so that they needn't be without me. Don't try to stop them, no. They won't have it any other way.
Tell you a thing, does she? We're waiting to
What
fight
do you
that
call
final
it?
battle. The time is nearing now.
I saved you the finest paw.
I say, have humans yet crafted a
Even
beverage
vermin leave behind a worthy scrap or two.
What is it that you so enjoy about
You admire my work. Perfectly disciplined, aren't they? They'd obey my every command, and when I die, they'll all leap into my grave so that they needn't be without me.
Nice on the cards, that one.
Potent heat!
I've got my eye on.
It never rains, but it pours, eh?
Of course, it'll be for a moment.
It only makes eating them all this pleasant later.
Perhaps you haven't heard, whelp. Every time a foot soldier disturbs me, I take his head to compensate for my time. Have had the pleasure of making... He's dangerous, yes, and quite mad. But I trust him with my own neck. Have humans yet crafted a beverage that doesn't taste like pus? But how very obvious! Who...
I've got my eye on. The plunder.
What's Gratiilda doing with all that shiny black ore anyhow? That stuff makes my head ache.
Human haggis. Been too long, hasn't it, brother? Keep your faith in the old mother.
I've spotted something.
I've spotted something interesting.
I guess those humans can't see all the big red stains about the place. Suppose they'd clean...
Yeah, but her hard as donkey on my fever.
Then go find yourself a sheep if you're so bloody hot and bothered.
I'm warm as
A sheep?
fresh apple
May your
pie.
sword never sully, and your shield never shatter.